Hey Keith, Casper from Silver Tiger Media. How are you?
What's up, dude? I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, look, excellent. Now I'm speaking to you. Thank you very much for your time.
You got it.
So, look, congratulations on rock and roll. You really have to hang on to your hat with this one. It's sensational work.
Oh, thanks, man. You know, it's what happens when you get 5 rock and roll musicians in a room together. You just make rock and roll and you press record. It's really simple shit.
And they say rock and roll is dead, but you guys just keep proving them wrong, whoever they are.
I mean, whoever they are, fuck them. That's what I think.
Absolutely. So how is it you guys just keep getting better and better?
I mean, it's just the evolution of the band. You know, we've played so many shows together, and we're really tight as friends and guys that spend a lot of time together. It's just a good vibe, man, and we love what we do. It's pretty easy.
Absolutely. Now, you and Josh have been together, let's face it, through thick and thin. What's kept the two of you so strong and working together all these years?
I mean, I think we both have the same mindset. You know, we both, I mean, we have different ways of operating, and our opinions do differ on certain things. But, I mean, we both want the same thing. We want to be in a fucking awesome rock and roll band. And it all just kind of comes from there.
Absolutely. Look, Keith, I have to say, I really got the impression reviewing the album that your guitar work, although it was superb, was a little bit restrained this time. Were you holding back on the reins and the rock and roll theme?
Not really. You know, Stevie and I split up all the guitar solos, and I'm pretty happy with the way the record came out. It's really important for me to have making a record with this band is to have both guitar players having their own identity, and and everything has to serve the song. It's always about the song. So that's kind of the prevailing wisdom of that.
Indeed, that makes perfect sense, Keith. The Sparrows must seem like a lifetime ago now.
Well, I met Josh in 1996. So, basically about 20 years.
Indeed, it is a lifetime, isn't it? I realise this is a common question to artists, but there's been so much speculation over the years, I have to ask for myself, what's the real reason you chose such a brilliant name as Buckcherry?
The real reason, and we've given lots of bullshit reasons, because we got sick of the question.
Fair enough, too.
But the real reason is it's pretty simple. You know, I was reading a book. We had to change the name of the band. I was reading a book, and I was reading an article, an interview with Chuck Berry, and he said the people in the music business will do whatever they want to do to make $1 off you. They'll even turn your name inside out, like Buckcherry. And when he said that, I thought, brilliant. There you go.
Wow. I wondered whether it was a spoonerism. That's absolutely brilliant. Because my version of Buckcherry is really rude, so I probably shouldn't go there.
Well, we've heard them all. I'm sure whatever, there are some pretty nasty versions of it, but that's really where it came from.
Oh, terrific. Thank you for entertaining that question. Now, in 2000, you opened gigs for AC/DC, and I realised that you were both fans back in the day. How was that for you personally?
It was unreal. You know, we opened for AC/DC on the Stiff Upper Lip tour when they were promoting that record, Stiff Upper Lip. And It was the original, it was the lineup that was on Back in Black and For Those About to Rock. And I got to tell you, going out and watching them every night was totally fucking inspiring because it was like a machine. And then even better than that, hanging out with them after the last show, and we were invited into their dressing room, and we spent about, 45 minutes just hanging out on the couch with those guys, smoking cigarettes and talking about music and stuff. And they were really completely generous, gentleman to us, and I will never forget it.
Oh, wonderful. And there must be so many aspiring bands who'd love to do the same thing with you guys now. So before you went on hiatus in 2002, you were working on the third album. Did any of those tracks surface on your return?
Yes, a song called Crazy Bitch.
Oh, excellent.
And we had written that song, and we hung on to it for like 3 years. We didn't, it was just sitting there. And then when we got back together, right before we decided to, as we were making the record, right before we went in to make the 15 record, I said, let's just play this one and see what happens. Because we weren't really bringing up any old material. And there it was.
Oh, fantastic. And it ended up on 15, which was a huge success on your return. Crazy Bitch, Sorry, Everything, Next to You. Do you still find that tracks like that fans desperately want to hear live?
Yeah, I mean, fans definitely want to hear them live, and we want to play them live. They're still fun songs to play. I don't get tired of those songs at all. We all really dig it.
Oh, magnificent. And you're apart for the best part of 3 years, which is a lifetime for any band. What made you both say, let's do it, let's go back?
I guess, there were so many forces working against us at the tail end of that first wave that, I think we just felt like we needed a break. And we got out there into the world and we started working with other guys and I think we realized that we really had something special, and it might not be too late to actually revisit it and see what happens. But we had no expectations for it other than let's just try to make some music. And here we are, 11 years later talking about it. So it's pretty fucking cool.
It is too. And look, I remember at the time, I know how it made me feel. Thrilled that you were back. That sensation has never left those tracks. So I guess that's why people want to hear it live. Why bring out rock and roll? I mean, we're thrilled that you did, but it really sounds like a milestone record. Did the record have special significance for you?
I mean, look, I would be lying. Every time I make a record, I would be lying if I said anything other than every time I make a record, or the band makes a record, or we make a record, I always feel like it's our best work because I feel like they're really honest representations of exactly where the band is. And I don't think we've ever tried, we don't look back. I'm not trying to remake anything. I'm just trying to make the best record with where we're at in our lives as musicians and as guys. And so the rock and roll record definitely feels like a milestone for a number of reasons. For that, it's the first record that we're putting out in the United States on our own record label. I think the songs are great. I think, we work really hard to make music that, as music fans, we would want to buy. And that's really the guiding philosophy behind it.
Wow, which must be the real trick to it. As I say, you guys just keep getting better and better, and there is a real maturity to this album. It's sensational.
Well, thank you. I've never been accused of being mature before. So
let's leave it at the music being mature then. That might suit a little better. Well, it's really proved the naysayers wrong. You guys are keeping rock and roll well and truly alive.
I think so. I don't know. We're just doing what we do. And if people want to say we're keeping it alive, that's great. But there's a way I think a rock and roll band should sound, and there's an attitude towards it that has been around since day one.
Indeed. And would you say that starting off in Anaheim, really, was that the perfect location for you to kick off?
Well, Josh was from Anaheim, but we met in Hollywood. And,
right.
At the time when at the time when I met Josh, rock and roll was not really popular. Ska punk bands were popular, and the Lilith Fair was big. Female acoustic singer-songwriters. That was the biggest music going. So it wasn't like everyone was out there looking for rock bands, and we didn't really give a fuck. We just did our thing.
Sure, and yet you ended up with such a big following playing the clubs around LA.
Yeah, I mean, LA is our home base. You know, it's been through so many changes. Like music-wise, there used to be a real scene here, and I wouldn't say there's a scene as much as there was, you know, definitely in the '80s. But it's good to have cut our teeth in these clubs here.
Absolutely. I spent a little bit of time in the Whiskey A Go-Go recently, and I couldn't help but think of you guys back in the day. Do you find you've still got those old fans still following you about?
You know what? They are around. We did the Whiskey's 50th anniversary last year, and man, it was a great homecoming for us.
Absolutely, that would have been sensational. So the big question, if I may, Keith, you have a huge following in Australia, and people have been actually asking me to ask you, what's the chances of an Australian tour?
Pretty good. You know, we're looking at putting that together right now. We've got pretty much all the way through the end of 2015 locked in Canada, Europe, and the United States. And then 2016 seems like prime time for us to get back over there. So look for us over there.
Oh, we will do indeed. I've honestly got to say, Keith, I've never had so many people with one band asking me to find out if you're coming. We really are keeping our fingers crossed for a Soundwave appearance.
Yeah, I mean, and we're looking forward to it. Our Australian audience has been growing. The reaction every time we go back is greater and greater. We're really stoked to come back.
Absolutely. Look, there's so much I want to talk to you about, but sadly time flies. Keith, thank you very much for your magnificent work. This album is brilliant and just carries on your sound in a magnificent way, but in a progressive way. So we thank you for that.
Thank you for saying so. I appreciate it.
Pleasure indeed. And thanks for your time today, Keith. Congratulations on the album again, and we genuinely look forward to seeing you in Australia very, very soon.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Tremendous. Take care, mate.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.